So Sixers basketball is right around the corner. I'm talking a month away. So let's get into some of the things that Daryl Morey recently said. Will he make another move? And let's talk about this 76ers projected starting five. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you are new to the channel and love talking Philly sports every single day, we'll go right ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're new or you're old, make sure you turn on post notifications so you know when I go live or drop some content. On that note, if you're excited for a Daryl Morey, Doc Rivers 76ers season, smash that like button. With all that being said, let's jump in today's topics. Let's start by talking about what Daryl Morey had to say on The Fanatic a couple days ago when he was asked about any more big trades or any more additions that you think is going to happen to the Sixers prior to the season starting. So he started by talking about the big trade, and he said, nope, not happening. We are building around Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. So he knocked that down right away. He said it's not true. We got to get rid of this fake news. Now, when talking about other additions, he pretty much said the roster is what it's going to be going into the season, which, like I said, starts in less than 30 days. Now, we did re-sign Ryan Broekhoff, a guy who was supposed to come to the bubble, but his wife got COVID, so he stayed with her. I mean, he's a knockdown 40% shooter. Nothing to be crazy about. If he's open, he can shoot it. But with the shooters we got who can actually space the floor and create their own shot, I think he's more of a deep bench type guy. But anyways, when you look at this roster, Daryl Morey said we do have assets, whether it be players or picks, to go out and possibly acquire another piece, whatever the other piece is that we would be missing. However, with there being a new coach, a new supporting cast around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, it's better to not reach now and wait and see. Go into this short offseason, this weird offseason with what we got now, what we already acquired, and see how this team responds. And then while these first couple games go, because we're only playing 72 games this season, so when the trade deadline comes, we know what we're missing, if we're missing, and we can attack with the assets we got. We don't want to go all in now and make a mistake where somebody could be offering a guy because they're not ready to contend, and we're at that point where we're one piece away from contending with a Milwaukee Bucks or a Brooklyn Nets. So it's all a wait and see approach, and that's how I believe Daryl Morey is going to approach it, except for some news that broke, and I don't know if we got the right assets for this team, but Lou Williams is on the trade block. As you already know, Montrezl Harrell is a Laker, not a Clipper, and there were three people who were kind of having attitude problems with the two new players, and that being Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and that was Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, and Pat Bev. So, Lou Williams being on the trade block, we all know he would be a great fit in Philadelphia because even though we got some shooters in Danny Green, Seth Curry, some young guards to play around Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, a guy who can create his own shot, who's still a 35% three-point shooter, but he's a guy who can do a boatload of things. And, I mean, if he was able to continue doing what he's been doing in this league the last couple years, and that is being one of the best six-mans in the league in history, to be honest, that would be pivotal because Doc Rivers knows how to coach Lou Will. And could you imagine Lou Will, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, Dwight Howard? Talk about a second unit, and then you fluctuate Lou Will into the starting lineup, not starting, but he comes on the bench, he gets starters minutes, so he does play alongside Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. This would work out perfect. This could be a beautiful missing piece under Doc Rivers, rocking a six-man power on the Philadelphia 76ers, what you call instant offense off the bench. And let's be honest, his $8 million a year contract would fit right in our cap, probably perfectly. So, I mean, I believe Daryl Morey's going to wait until the trade deadline to do anything, but if he could do this, my goodness, would it be a perfect missing piece. But let's get over to some of the spacing stuff, because I want to just talk about how bad the spacing was last year and how different it could be this year, and that's why you're going to see more dominant performance from Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, because that's all they ever needed was space. Last year's team could not space the floor. Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, if these are your three guys, you got to rely on the space. None of these guys are scary three-point shooters. Tobias is okay, but it's nothing to be scared about, and it's even worse when he's the best one out of them three. You can't have it. So let's get into some spacing tape. Let's start with some bad spacing. Joel Embiid got the ball, and look who's on the court with him. So look, they bottle him up. They have all the defenders watching him. Who's scared of Tobias, Jay Rich, or Al Horford? So he has to dish it out. Al Horford don't know. Tobias don't know. Now Jay Rich shoots it, but it's a shot clock violation. Not good enough. And this is best case scenario when it comes to last year's spacing, which it was worse. But if MB gets the ball on the block, they're going to double and triple team him. Who are they scared of to shoot the three? Jay Rich, Simmons, Horford, Harris? You got to space it better. Move the defense and stretch them like a rubber band. Now on this play, you got Green, Curry, Simmons, Harris, Embiid. And you can mix and match Harris, Simmons, and Curry. But Curry coming off the pick, give it to Simmons. He can roll to the basket and or kick it to Embiid for a three or a backdoor. Now it will not work as great because Simmons don't shoot. It'd be better if he does. But you can still do so many things with this lineup in space. Embiid on the three, goes backdoor, easy bucket. Shooters around Ben Simmons, two occupied, easy bucket. That is what you want to see. Although it still will be hampered a little because Ben Simmons don't pull up, you never know how Doc Rivers is going to get in his head. Maybe he attempts a little bit more. And even if he don't, if a player's playing far off, he can still beat him to the rim with his speed. And if it's a smaller defender, a point guard defending him, finish at the rim. If the help comes, you got Embiid in the corner, and he doesn't have to stay in the three. He can crash the basket. That's what's good about Joel Embiid. He can post you, but he's also an athletic big who can come straight to the basket and just bang on you. He's athletic enough to come backdoor and get it done. I just love these moves because it's going to make Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid even better. So it's not like we just added these guys. We added these guys and we also made our stars more valuable. Now, as you've seen in that screen, that's pretty much what I'm going to do for my starting five. If you look here, bang, that's the starting five I want to see. Ben Simmons, and he can play wherever. He don't got to be on the ball. He could be off the ball. You can move him around. But I want to see Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. That's what I want to see. And like I said, regardless if we can finagle Lou Williams or not, I like Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton, maybe Furkan Korkmaz. I'm just kidding. Dwight Howard. These guys off the bench. Don't forget our guys like Isaiah Joe. Maybe a Paul Reed. We did get the backup center, Tony Bradley. A lot of things we can do. But this starting five is not crazy in the sense of Danny Green, Seth Curry. But watch what it does for Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Leave these guys open. See what happens. And I'm also expecting Tobias Harris to have a better season because, again, he had his best numbers under Doc. Doc is going to be able to get these guys where they need to be. And even if we don't make no moves, I believe this starting five is good enough to compete because the spacing is just going to do so much for this team. Joel Embiid is a scary man in space. With all that being said, that's all I got for today. Let me know your thoughts on Lou Williams. Let me know your thoughts on your starting lineup. And how do you feel about this team? Even if we don't grab anybody, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section. I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and that's all we got. You guys know what time it is. We out.